And a happy finally Friday to you. Thanks for joining us here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel. In for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Grandstrom. It's been a week and it's going to be a weekend. I promise it's going to happen. Finally, Friday is here. Coming up on this morning's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, one more time around with our Apple Blossom Top 10 candidates. We'll tell you more about the two. We'll meet a little bit. Also, of course, keeping a close eye on weather. And as you see the picture behind me, we've got a mixed bag this morning, but it's supposed to be a little nicer, especially as we get to the weekend. The latest from the News Center on the way, including more information on COVID-19. It seems that we just can't get away from stories on COVID-19. Sports news, big win for the Gonzaga Bulldogs men and women last night. I'll run that down for you. Obscure holiday today is, we're going to tell a story. And you have to begin that story with Once Upon a Time. Find out more about that coming up. As we start our day today, let's see what's happening around the valley on our Valley View cameras with LocalTel's Sky-Fi Wireless Network. And there you see that mixed bag, literally, we have this morning. As I got up and traveled to work this morning, a downpour happening with 33 degrees outside. Right now, those clouds are starting to part. We're expecting very windy conditions. Well, I don't know what happened to that wind yesterday. We got a little around some of the storm cells that came through, but not that sustained wind they were expecting. They're still holding out the high wind advisory until, today, 4 o'clock this afternoon. So a sneak peek at our day ahead here for the Wenatchee Valley, thanks to our camera up on Wenatchee Heights, and thanks to Sky-Fi Wireless Network for providing us camera 1. Camera 2 will take us to, I was curious if we're even going to really be able to see much today. Okay, kind of a mixed bag. Oh, look at the winter wonderland there. Megan, I have no, are we looking down at Leavenworth there? Okay, well, you can't see Leavenworth. It's under the cloud cover this morning, but I promise it's there unless somebody just packed it up and moved it overnight last night. But snow fell in the higher elevations. There you see it, adorning the limbs of those coniferous trees in the foreground. That is our camera 2 view this morning. Good morning to Leavenworth, the Bavarian village. To camera 3 we'll go, and this one is looking at, boy, it's awful hard to tell with these dark early mornings and the foreground being kind of dark. Where are we here? The Manson Water Tower. Okay, so we've got Manson in the foreground there, Wapato Point off to the right, Lake Chelan there in the middle of, or the bottom portion of the screen, and you can see off to the east, maybe some clearing. It's going to be a battle of clouds and sun today, and also wind expected for anybody that's thinking of trying for kokanee up at Lake Chelan. They've got a big kokanee tournament happening there this weekend. Yeah, going to be cold, but actually should be pretty nice weather this weekend. All right, camera 4, we're going to check in and say hello to Lake Wenatchee and Plain area and a power line. I guess I still need to find out. I think that's a Bonneville power line that runs right there from our camera view up high. Well, the good news is you look off to the west there and you can see some clearings. So maybe that sunshine will actually happen here today. Good morning to everybody out there in the viewing audience, and we hope you enjoy our views of the valley thanks to Sky-Fi Wireless Network. Now, the view up in the mountains with the travel is not good. We'll tell you about that in a sec. First, our forecast here for the Wenatchee Valley and for north central Washington. We'll see rain and showers this morning, maybe some snow in some of our necks of the region. Sunshine this afternoon. That wind advisory in effect till 4 o'clock this afternoon. They're saying winds northwest 11 to 20, gusting to 32 miles per hour. The wind did happen yesterday east of us. We heard that Moses Lake got quite a bit of wind and over towards Spokane. Not much for here. Tonight we'll have partly cloudy skies, a low of 29 as the winds will be northwest 7 to 10. So there you see it diminishing, and hopefully just going to blow itself out today and give us a nice calm weekend with sunshine on Saturday. 45 for the high, 31 for the overnight low on Saturday night with some clouds moving in. There you see the warmer temperatures because of that thermal blanket that will pull over our heads. And then coming up on Sunday, we'll have a few clouds lingering in the morning, giving way to sunshine in the afternoon. Warming up, look at that, 49 for the high on Sunday. The extended forecast as we head back to work on Monday, we'll have partly cloudy skies, maybe some rain or snow in the morning hours, sunshine in the afternoon, 46 for the high. Nighttime lows should be mostly around freezing. Daytime highs warm it up. Tuesday 47, 49 on Wednesday, and there you see it, 50 degrees possible as we get into the latter part of next week. We are at 32 in downtown Wenatchee, and because of the rains that fell earlier this morning, I mean, it was heavy at times as I drove to work this morning, had the high wipers going. It's 32 degrees, so that might mean some of that water is freezing this morning, so be careful on your driveway, be careful on the sidewalks, be careful on the parking lot when you get to work this morning. It might be a little slippery underfoot, so careful about that. As far as the mountain passes are concerned, it is a mess in the Washington Cascades this morning, so if you need to travel, if you can delay it until later in the day, that would probably behoove you, because right now it's not good. Snoqualmie Pass has a traction requirement. That means chains required for the big rigs. It is currently snowing hard at Snoqualmie Pass. Poor visibility at times, of course. That wind as well going to blow the snow around. Compact snow and ice on the roadway for Snoqualmie. Stevens, you're hoping for it better? No, not any better at all. Heavy snow falling. Poor visibility. 30 degrees at the summit. Chains required on all vehicles except four-wheel drive. Oversized vehicles prohibited. That is for US 2 Stevens Pass, and that's not expected really to get any better as we go through the day today. Blewett Pass also slick this morning, heavy snow falling, poor visibility. In fact, I was walking past this scanner just as we were getting ready to start the show today, and I believe I heard there may be an accident on US 97. There was quite a backup there, so careful if you're traveling, and give yourself plenty of time to get to where you need to go. Traction tire requirement on Blewett Pass right now. That means chains required for the big rigs. Again, heavy snowfall, poor visibility, snow and ice on the roadway, and 28 degrees. And just so you know, White Pass has a traction requirement. With snow and slush on the roadway, it is snowing hard there at times as well, with strong gusty winds, and 27 degrees. Again, you can get the latest on the pass conditions at the DOT's website at wsdot.wa.gov, and just make sure you do a little planning. Make sure, of course, we're not out of winter yet, gang, so anytime you travel in the higher elevations of Washington, have extra prepare, things in the car with you. Have some water, have a blanket, have some food, have a flashlight, have emergency roadside kit if you can with a flare, that type of thing, because you just never know what you're going to find when you head up in the mountain passes. It is 8 minutes past the hour. Now, coming up a little bit later on this morning, last half of the program, again, we'll introduce you to a couple more candidates for the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival's Royalty Selection Pageant. There's Cameron Fowler. We will meet her first this morning. She's the daughter of Steve and Melissa Fowler. She's involved in Running Start, Volunteer Hospitality House, also is a volunteer for Special Olympics. Cameron Fowler will join us later on this morning. And then we will meet the final of our 10 candidates for the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival Royalty, Kaylin Schmitten. She's the daughter of Brent and Angela Schmitten. She is very athletic, involved in track, volleyball, basketball. She's a link leader and a student senate representative. Kaylin Schmitten will be the final of our 10 candidates that you will meet this morning later on here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Now, last night at the Performing Arts Center, they had the dress rehearsal. They went through the whole pageant, and there you see a little sneak peek of what you'll see tomorrow night on our broadcast live here on the NCW Life Channel. All the ladies are doing such a great job, and I'll tell you what, judges are going to have a tough choice. Any of the 10 would be a magnificent representation of the Wenatchee Valley through the state of Washington and the Northwest, with our top three, the two princesses and the queen. Of course, the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant is Saturday night at 7 o'clock, live from the PAC. They do have a small audience that will be present, about 130 people. That's mostly just family and Apple Blossom folks. The rest of it is only available on television right here on the NCW Life Channel. So we'll have that live on TV on local tel Channel 12, Charter Channel 19, as well as streaming live on our website at ncwlife.com and on our Facebook page. So plenty of ways for you to watch what's happening with the pageant. We'll start things off at 6 o'clock with our countdown to coronation. 1974 Queen Julie Agins Kuntz and I will be your co-hosts for that particular hour-long preview of what's happening as we ramp it up to the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant at 7 o'clock. So hold on. Later on this morning, our final two candidates will get a chance to get to know them a little bit better right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll take a break, come back, the latest local news, and our a new pet. Oh, hey, we get to do a pause for pets. That's also coming up here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for joining me.
At Winco, we're working to save you money. Every aisle, every department, every day. Winco.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CVCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CVCH respects that.
We'll say partly cloudy skies and 32 degrees in downtown Wenatchee as we are 11 minutes past the hour on a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, this 26th day of February 2021. Eric Grandstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz with your latest local news. Wenatchee police say a caregiver forged checks from an elderly victim to the tune of about $4,500. 37-year-old Amy Alanis Mendoza is charged with a single count of forgery for allegedly depositing a string of fraudulent checks written on the victim's account over the last year. Police say Mendoza is not a professional caregiver, but was assisting the 80-year-old victim with basic tasks. The alleged forgery came in light as part of an Adult Protective Services investigation last spring. Mendoza had her first appearance Wednesday in Chelan County Superior Court. She remains free on her own recognizance. Well, Grant County reported 6 additional COVID-19 deaths Wednesday, bringing the county's total deaths from the virus to 115. Grant County Health District said 4 of the 6 had underlying health conditions, including a Soap Lake woman in her 50s, a Moses Lake man in his 60s, and 2 Moses Lake men in their 70s. In addition, a Moses Lake man and woman, both in their 70s, with no known health conditions, reported to have passed away from COVID-19. Well, we've all been wearing facial masks for a while now to help combat the pandemic, but there's still right way to do it and plenty of wrong ways. Dr. Malcolm Butler with the Chelan Douglas Health District says there's new advice on how to use a mask, and he demonstrated this week for the Regional Board of Health.
The Chelan Douglas Health District has announced that we recommend the highest quality masking available, and that's true in all settings. But you've probably heard some now about double masking. And this came out from the CDC. They published a report where they looked at mannequins and they put all kinds of different masks on them. And what they can prove is that you need at least 2 layers in your masking and you need to close the gaps. So if you're using a cloth mask, you need to make sure it's got 2 layers. And typically those are ones that are actually fabricated. This is not like wearing a bandana, okay? Bandana would be a single layer and that's not enough. The other thing is if you're going to double mask with a cloth mask, the cloth mask goes over the surgical mask. And I'm going to explain why. If you see anybody doing it the other way, help them out and tell them they've got it backwards. The other thing we can talk a little bit is putting knots in those elastic loops on the surgical masks. That also helps. So here's the graphic. This is a local health officer who I know. And if you look at how this mask is fitting on me, you can see a gap on my cheek and a gap under my chin, right? So it turns out that if I wear a tightly fitting cloth mask with some elastic, it closes down those 2 gaps, the gap on my cheek and the gap under my chin. And that's why putting a cloth mask over a surgical mask is helpful. But then here's another thing you can do. It turns out that if you tie a knot more or less as close as you can to the surgical mask, If you tie that knot there and you tuck in the edge, you can more or less shut down that space, and you can see that knot is pulling it more tightly under my chin, so it's closing down that gap too.
15 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. As news continues, the Wenatchee School District is considering whether to use branded debit cards as a way to make up lost program revenue. The Associated Student Body normally makes about $70,000 a year in athletic ticket sales, but with the pandemic, it doesn't have that income. GISA Credit Union offers a program where students, parents, and alumni could use GISA branded debit cards as a kind of fundraiser for the ASB. GISA Outreach Specialist Brandon Allison told the Wenatchee School Board on Wednesday that 19 school districts are enrolled and earning money through the program, including Eastmont.
We do have tailor-made Wenatchee district debit cards for both high schools. So I know that there's a lot of demand out there for the Panther card, but we also, of course, do not want to forget about the West Side High School. So both cards will be available. Eastmont has come on board last year. They're in their third calendar month of this. And since the inception of their particular card, they've seen 3 times the amount of cards issued since day one. And I'm in continuous conversation with our branch manager in the Wenatchee branch, and she is saying that the Wenatchee district community members are consistently asking for their cards to support the Wenatchee School District as well.
The board expects to adopt a contract with GISA at its next meeting. Mr. Helm reviewed the proposed contract of the GISA Affinity Debit Card Program, which allows the district to generate unrestricted revenue from the use of district-branded GISA debit cards. There's no cost to the district to participate. GISA would make branded debit cards for Wenatchee and West Side High Schools in light of the anticipated budget shortfall due to the new requirements in HB 1660 and loss of gate fees for athletics. Securing additional funds to help offset the loss in ASB revenue would be advantageous. The contract will be presented at the next meeting for the consent agenda. Chelan County Fire District 3, serving the Leavenworth area, has 3 new major pieces of equipment en route to help its firefighting efforts. District Chief Kelly O'Brien says the new tender, pumper, and interface unit from KME Fire Apparatus should arrive by April. A voter-approved levy increase in 2017 helped make the purchase possible without long-term debt. Avalanche warnings have been in place for over a week now, and state crews are trying to get ahead of that situation. Avalanche control work on Snoqualmie Pass Wednesday morning included dropping explosives from a helicopter to trigger a slide. In our feature story, the Washington State Department of Transportation took video of the operation, which they described as a huge success. Of course, avalanche conditions not necessarily the problem for the Washington Passes this morning, just heavy snowfall and poor visibility. Be careful if you're traveling in the higher elevations. Finally, time for our weekly Pause for Pets feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. NCW Life's Megan McPherson introduces us to Harley the dog.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We are here with Jenny, the volunteer coordinator at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and Harley is joining us this week. Can you tell us about Harley?
I sure can. Harley's been with us for a little while. She's a little fearful of people at first, but once she learns to trust you, she really warms up quite well. Harley, one of her favorite games here is we're learning to touch with her, so Harley, touch. Good girl. Good girl. If you do that a lot with her, it just kind of warms her up, and she's absolutely lovely once you get to know her, but she does need a quiet home, someplace where she can learn to trust you and build that trust. Dogs right now terrify her, so she needs a situation where she's not put in a situation where that's going to be scary for her. She just really needs somebody that's soft and kind and willing to take their time for her to like build that trust. But when she trusts you, she is just the most amazing sweet dog. She's easy to walk on a leash. She knows sit. She learned down today. Yeah, and she's come a long ways, and we're pretty proud of Harley. So we'd like to see her land in a nice home.
Yeah. And what should someone do if they're interested in adopting her?
They need to contact our behavior manager, Karen, here at the shelter, so they can call the shelter at 662-9577 and get Karen's email, or her email's online at wenatcheehumane.org. If they go to Harley's profile, the link's right there to email Karen and talk to Karen about it. Hi, Harley. Yeah, come here, sweet girl. Come here. Hi. Sit. Sit. Good girl.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open by appointment only. Call them at 509-662-9577 to schedule a meet and greet or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Well, Harley's a cute pooch, but I don't know about that crow in the background there. It was trying to take over the whole thing. Thank you, Megan, for that. I appreciate it. We have, of course, your latest local news coming up tonight with Grant Olson in the newsroom at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Grant, what can we expect tonight?
Thanks and good morning, Eric. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we will have our bi-weekly Pause for Pets feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Wind and a slight chance for a shower or two today, and then get ready for a stretch of beautiful weather. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric will be back right here tonight with a look at Mariners spring training leading up to their first Cactus League game this Sunday. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Back to you, Eric.
Thank you much, Grant. I like that tie and shirt combination. That's pretty smart looking. If you want to reach out to us here and let us know what's happening in your neighborhood, you can do so various ways. You can call us at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. You can email us directly at news@ncwlife.com, or you can just reach out directly through our Facebook page, which I hope you like us and follow us while you're there. Just to look up NCW Life on Facebook, and you'll find us. That's where we'll be hanging out Saturday as well, live with our broadcast of the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant on our Facebook page. We'll take a break, come back. Sports news on the way next here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Her Royal Highness, Queen Tess Sparks.
Join the NCW Life channel for coverage of the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant Saturday, February 27th. The countdown to coronation begins at 6 with the pageant to follow at 7. Coverage is sponsored by Confluence Health, Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, and Caldwell Banker Cascade. The Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant is available only on the NCW Life channel, your local TV station.
Link Transit is ready when you are. With enhanced health and safety measures, we've installed upgraded air purifiers and safety partitions between drivers and passengers. Plus, the interior of all of our buses are thoroughly cleaned and disinfected every day. When riding Link Transit, please remember to wear a mask, maintain physical distance, sign up for transit alerts, and stay home if you are sick. Healthier Transit is here. Go to linktransit.com to learn more.
23 minutes past the hour as we are looking at a little better sky conditions, clearing up out there. 32 degrees in downtown Wenatchee. Eric Grandstrom in for Dan Kuntz, and time for sports. Well, Gonzaga got a little bit of a scare last night from Santa Clara, but they did pull out the win, 89-75 the final. Corey Kispert scored 25 points, and Drew Timme scored 16 of his 18 in the second half to help the Bulldogs win its 50th straight home game. Overall, it was Gonzaga's 27th straight win dating back to last season. GU got off to a slow start in the first half, but Jalen Suggs helped get things going by nearly pulling off a triple-double. 13 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists. Gonzaga has double-digit wins in its last 20 games. You have to go back to UCLA in the 70s to find such domination by a number 1 ranked team. It was a little closer this time, but Washington still fell to Arizona State 80-72 in Tempe. It was the second time the two teams met in 3 days after making up a game postponed earlier this season due to COVID. The Huskies were led by the 16 points of Cade Green and 14 from Jamal Bay. Noah Williams came back down to earth last night after scoring a school record 72 points over 2 games last weekend. Sophomore guard held to just 8 points on 2 of 15 shooting. Arizona topped Washington State 69-53. TJ Bamba was the only one of 2 Cougars to score in double figures with 12. Coach Kyle Smith says if you don't shoot well on the road, it's pretty tough to win.
Tough one tonight for us. I thought we played hard, very purposeful for the first 18 to 20 minutes of the game. Actually played pretty hard throughout. Got to make shots to win on the road. We didn't shoot it well enough. Didn't rebound it well enough. So you're gonna have to play really well in this league, especially against a team as talented as Arizona, to win on the road. So had a couple. Jazz's effort on the glass was incredible, and I thought TJ Bamba played really well. And we played hard. We just didn't play well.
Here's the schedule coming up tomorrow. The Wildcats will host the Huskies on national TV on CBS at noon. Cougars will travel to Tempe to take on Arizona State at 1:30 on the Pac-12 Network. Gonzaga's game with Loyola Marymount Saturday at 7 in Spokane has been picked up by ESPN. The Gonzaga women clinched at least a tie for the WCC title last night by crushing Pepperdine 95-49 the final. The Spokesman Review reports that 24 fans made the drive to Spokane from Okanagan to watch Jill Townsend play as fans were allowed in the kennel for the first time this season. They were not disappointed as the senior scored 23 points and had 8 rebounds. Leanne Worth also chipped in 16 for Gonzaga, who can clinch the outright West Coast Conference title with a win over Loyola Marymount on Saturday. Gonzaga led at half last night, 53-19, its largest halftime lead this season. Coming up this weekend, Gonzaga will try to wrap up the West Coast Conference outright tomorrow when they host Loyola Marymount at 1 o'clock at the McCarthy Athletic Center. On Sunday, Haley Van List Louisville Cardinals travel to South Bend, Indiana to take on Notre Dame at 9. Washington plays at Washington State at 1 o'clock. We also have some high school basketball tonight on the NCW Life Channel. Wenatchee hosted West Valley in a Big 9 doubleheader at Wenatchee High School nearly a year ago. The girls' game will start things off at 7, followed by the boys at 8:30. And then tomorrow we're all about Apple Blossom with the documentary A Lot of Fuss About a Parade at 2. That's followed by live coverage from the Numerica Pack at 6 with our countdown to coronation. Then the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant at 7 o'clock. Sunday, Wenatchee Wild take on Coquitlam at 2 o'clock. Then we'll re-air the pageant Sunday at 7. Well, spring training continues for the Mariners in Peoria, Arizona with full squad workouts and live batting practice. Dylan Moore is one Mariner who hopes to continue improving on his hitting after changing his swing prior to last year's shortened season.
I had started doing that change with the swing path being a little more direct to the ball and things like that in the off season before the original spring training. But I did continue that after we got shut down there in spring training and the quarantine. Just kind of on the offensive side, just staying a little more direct to the ball and increasing the consistency of solid contact in my swing.
You know, once you get in camp every year, you're always excited and the workouts are fun. And then after you're going through about day 5 or day 6, it's like, okay, when do we play games? So we're getting closer. You know, the live VPs, a lot of good stuff to see yesterday. But the stuff that our guys are firing out there is pretty awesome, pretty electric. You know, we'll continue to hit on our fundamental stuff today. Really gonna, hone in on our base running. There's some low-hanging fruit that we can get better at as a team, and we're going to talk to the guys today about that. Our coaches have put together a really nice, video slide presentation, breaking it down, looking at the data and different things we can do there to force us to be even better. I thought we had a really nice year base running last year, one of the leaders in stolen bases, but there's so much more that goes into it. So we'll spend a bunch of time here early in camp, really stressing that.
Seattle will play its first Cactus League game coming up Sunday against San Diego at 12:10. Then they'll take on the Cleveland Indians Tuesday, Chicago Cubs Wednesday, opening day just 35 days away. And rumors continue to circulate about the future of Russell Wilson in Seattle. ESPN's reporting that Wilson's agent says the veteran quarterback never asked the Seahawks to trade him. However, if they were to trade him, he'd only consider Dallas, New Orleans, Las Vegas, or Chicago. Wilson showed his frustration following the Super Bowl after sitting and watching Tom Brady win yet another title. He admitted that he's tired of being sacked and hopes Seattle gives him some say in personnel decisions moving forward. That created a firestorm of speculation that Wilson wants out of Seattle. The Athletic had a revealing article yesterday unveiling a power struggle behind closed doors between Wilson and Seattle coach Pete Carroll. Wilson is all about his legacy and wanting to be the best quarterback to ever play the game. Carroll is about winning and not turning the ball over, something that resulted last year in the whole let Russ cook thing that ended with the firing of offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer. That's a look at sports news at 30 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this Friday. We're looking at clearing skies, gusty winds, and temperatures up in the 40s today. We're at 33 and clearing skies in downtown Wenatchee. As we continue for this Friday, you know what? Before we get to the obscure holiday and telling a little story here, let's do the morning slurp. This is just kind of the thing I'm doing here. We used to do this on the radio show back when I was on KPQ back in the day, and Steve Hare and I would always take a moment, take a breath, because you can just get wound up in the day's rush, and just, once in a while you need to slow down a little bit. So here we go. Morning slurp, and a good Friday to you. All right, now we can talk about the day, holiday. Obscure holidays. I don't know where they come up with these. But today is kind of one that I like. It's National Tell a Fairy Tale Day today. Say that 6 times fast. Now, according to the people that came up with this, they say that a fairy tale does not have to start with once upon a time. Oh, come on. Who are you kidding? They do say, though, that the fairy tale must end with "and they lived happily ever after." My wife and I have this whole thing where I say, I got to tell you a story. She goes, we'll start with once upon a time. So I do. Once upon a time, a boy met a girl at a boat ramp in Anacortes. 2 years later, they were married at that very same boat ramp. She moved to the 509, and they lived happily ever after. Aw, ain't that sweet? All right, this day in history, 1929, it was on this date that the Grand Tetons became a national park. The first Anglo-American to see the saw-edged Teton Peaks is believed to be John Coulter. After traveling with the Lewis and Clark expedition, Coulter left the expedition to head down the Missouri in 1807 to join 2 fur trappers headed back into the wilderness. He spent the next 3 years wandering through the northern Rocky Mountains, eventually finding his way into the valley at the base of the Tetons, which would later be called Jackson Hole. Other adventurers followed in Coulter's footsteps, including the French-Canadian trappers who gave the mountain range the body name of Grand Tetons, which means big breasts in French. I'm not kidding you. That's what it means. For decades, trappers, outlaws, traders, and Indians passed through Jackson Hole, but it was not until 1887 that settlers established the first permanent habitation there. And of course, in 1929, it became a national park, the Grand Tetons, or Grand Tetons. It was on this date in 1935, Nazi leader Adolf Hitler signed a decree authorizing the founding of the Reich Luftwaffe as a third German military service to join the Reich Army and Navy. In the same decree, Hitler appointed Hermann Goering as German air hero from World War I, a high-ranking Nazi as commander-in-chief of the new German Air Force. Took place on this date in 1935. We'll get a little more modern here. Not a good story. 1993 at 12:18 p.m., a terrorist bomb exploded at the parking garage of the World Trade Center in New York City, leaving a crater 60 feet wide, causing the collapse of several steel reinforced concrete floors in the vicinity of the blast. It was about $500 million in damage. Of course, this was a harbinger of things to come as far as the World Trade Center, unfortunately, being a target for terrorists. All right, let's get to birthdays today. Boy, if you like music, today is the day to celebrate. Fats Domino was born on this date in 1928. His name, actually, is Antoine Dominique Domino Jr. So Fats Domino, one of the biggest stars of the early rock and roll era. Fats had more than 3 dozen top 40 hits throughout the 1950s and early 60s. In fact, He was second only to Elvis on record sales, 65 million over his career. In fact, Elvis publicly acknowledged that Fats Domino was his predecessor. So there you go. Fats Domino, born on this date in 1928. He died at the age of 89 just a few years ago in 2017. Also born on this date, the man in black, Johnny Cash, was born in 1932. Long and influential music career. He was known mainly as a country music artist, but his work also encompassed other styles, including gospel, rockabilly, and blues. You know, I was looking up some of the lesser-known songs of Johnny Cash, and we're about out of time here, but I wanted to bring you some of the titles that Johnny Cash also wrote besides the ones you know. By the way, if you haven't seen the movie Walk the Line, it's all about the Johnny Cash story. You really need to see it. How about Flushed from the Bathroom of Your Heart? Yeah, these are actual Johnny Cash song titles. Look at Them Beans. Everybody Loves a Nut. Foolish Questions. And of course, The Chicken in Black, a story about Johnny Cash, his doctor telling him his brain or his body was outliving his brain. So they took the brain out. They put a robber's brain in his body. They took Johnny Cash's brain and put it in a chicken. And then you had this chicken that was making millions with songs. Yeah, it's a long story, but Johnny Cash, born on this date in 1932. That's going to wrap it up for our birthdays here today. We'll take a break and come back. Mike Magnotta with his opinion on the way, and also we'll introduce you to two more candidates for the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival royalty selection process. Candidates Cameron Fowler and Kaylin Schmitten coming right up here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
At Winco, we do everything to save you money. Winco.
The 2021 models are arriving at Sangster Motors. General Motors is on the move with the all-new 2021 Yukon. Yukon is redesigned from the ground up with a bold new look and all the latest technology. Also new is the Canyon AT4 pickup. This off-road equipped mid-size truck will challenge any rival for performance and value. Both of these models will offer Duramax diesel options for maximum power and economy. The American Challenge is game on at Sangster Motors now.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Wenatchee Power Sports not only has a new owner, but an all-new attitude to match. Speaking of attitude, check out the 2021 models arriving now. Polaris snowmobiles, ATVs and side-by-sides. Yamaha motorcycles, watercraft ATVs and side-by-sides. KTM motorcycles and the latest edition Beta high-performance motorcycles. Coming this fall, a huge demo event featuring the latest and hottest off-road machines. It's all at the retuned Wenatchee Power Sports, where maximum performance is a way of life. 3031 GS Center Road in North Wenatchee, open Tuesday through Saturday.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I recently read a book about Johns, you know, the guys who patronize prostitutes. The gist of this book is that prostitution is not an honorable profession, something I agree with, yeah. And that the way to address this issue is to stop prosecuting and persecuting the women themselves who engage in this business, but to change the focus and prosecute the men who engage in this activity. Now, I agree. One of the common denominators of these guys is they're unwilling, for whatever reason, to do the work of forming and maintaining a relationship because deep down they believe women are just there for sex. This attitude has created a massive, overwhelming problem with human trafficking and child exploitation in our society, not just in our country, but throughout the world. Now, it's time to change our focus, folks, and target the men who create the demand for this type of behavior. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Eplidolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive. No nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Eplidolin family is the right choice for you.
Family-owned and operated Eplidolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 7th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tabor.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the doghouse?
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks, so bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Thanks for watching the NCW Live channel as we interview the top 10 candidates for the Royalty Selection Pageant coming here on the NCW Live channel on Saturday, the 27th of February. Our coverage is brought to you in part by Save Mart. Shop smart, shop local. You'll find it all at Save Mart. Introducing our next candidate, we have Cameron Fowler joining us now, who's the daughter of Steve and Melissa. Hi, Cameron.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Tell us just a little bit about yourself.
I am a dancer. I am a skier. I am a sister and a daughter. I am a puzzle and pizza lover.
Oh, okay. Says that you got involved with the hospitality house. Why and how?
Let's see. It was 2 summers ago, I had come home from a humanitarian trip in South America, and I wanted to do something locally. And I had a lot of time on my hand, and so I was able to get connected with the Just Serve website here in Wenatchee, and I found this little hospitality house. And ever since then, I was there, or since then, pre-COVID, I've been able to be there about twice a week for a couple hours, and I've just been able to learn some useful skills such as like paperwork and housekeeping stuff, but also I've been able to really learn a lot about patients that come in and out of the house and learn a lot about their stories and listen to their words of wisdom.
Why did you decide to run for Apple Blossom?
Oh, I love Apple Blossom. It's such a magical time of the year, and I wanted to be more involved in it. And I love this community. It's really shaped my personality, my interests, and my skills, and I really wanted to give back to this community that has really shaped me into the person I am.
It says in your bio that your grandfather inspires you. Mm-hmm. How so?
Oh, my grandfather, he was a leader, natural-born leader. He was a leader in his profession. He was the director of the health department in many states and cities that he lived in. He led a great and healthy community. He was also a great leader in many of the church positions that he held. He helped inspire many members of my church, and he was a great leader in my eyes.
What's been the most challenging thing for you with this pandemic?
Oh, I am such a social butterfly. I love talking to people. I love friends. I love, being in person, being in class, teaching and learning. So I think being at home, isolated, has really been hard on me. And it's been hard on a lot of students. Recently, I did a little mental health, emotional survey with a lot of my students who were feeling the same way. I really wanted to reach out to other teenagers in the Valley who were struggling too. And so luckily I've been able to work with the school board and public health department in trying to integrate students safely back into school, because I think that's what we need. We need some social interaction.
What's the number one thing adults need to understand about teenagers?
I think teenagers so desperately just need each other personally, face to face, which I know is so hard right now during this pandemic. But I think teenagers, we are so locked up behind our screen, which in some cases is great. It's so fun to connect with my cousins who live in the Philippines right now over technology. But I think the main thing that teenagers need is that face-to-face connection and that personal connection with one-on-one with each other.
What would you tell someone who's not from Wenatchee that is the best thing about Wenatchee?
I love that we have outdoor activities all year round. In the winter, we get to ski up in Mission Ridge, and in the summer, we can swim in the Columbia River, and then in the spring and fall, we have such great hiking available. Right outside my backyard is the Great Sage Hills, and we're so lucky to be so close to those outdoor amenities.
It is the night of pageant's over, and you're queen. Who do you thank?
Well, I of course thank my parents, love my parents, but I also thank, I thank, of course, the girls that I've been in this journey with, but I would also just thank the community, because, I want to support them and represent them, and I want to make sure that they know that I'm representing them, and I want to be their voice, and so I would definitely thank my peers and my teachers and my community just as a whole.
Well, congratulations on making the top 10, and best of luck in the pageant.
Oh, thank you.
You bet. Cameron Fowler joining us here on the NCW Life Channel. Again, the pageant coming your way on Saturday the 27th. The pre-show, if you will, our countdown to coronation starts at 6 o'clock. The Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant will start at 7 right here on the NCW Life Channel.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner with dine-in or takeout options. Highlander Grill's friendly staff is here to serve you 7 days a week this winter. Contact Shalane, Highlander Grill's site coordinator, to schedule your corporate event or special occasion.
Are you ready to freshen up your home? Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom is filled with high-quality furniture that's always discounted to give you their best price every day. Boswell's is receiving new furniture deliveries each week, so you'll be sure to find just what you need for your home without the wait. Complimentary design assistance and free local delivery. Superior customer service and the best value for your money. Start at Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Thanks for watching the NCW Life Channel. I'm Eric Grandstrom as we meet the top 10 candidates for the Apple Blossom Festival. Our pageant coming up not too long from now. And our coverage here brought to you by Harvest Valley Pest Control. They use kid and pet safe material. Call for a free estimate. And now we're introducing you to our candidate, Kaylin Schmitten, who's the daughter of Brent and Angela. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Kaylin Schmitten, and I am a 3-sport athlete.
What sports?
I play basketball, volleyball, and I run track.
How hard has this been for you with the whole pandemic and the shutdown of sports and all of that?
It's definitely been interesting. Last year, my junior year, I tore my ACL, so I didn't get to play sports then. So I'm a little bit more used to it, but it's definitely been really interesting.
The fact you're involved in sports is one thing. Why are you involved in sports?
I'm a very competitive person, and I started playing competitive basketball in the 3rd grade. My dad was my coach, and I just fell in love. I love doing sports. I love my teammates. I love the coaches, everything about it.
Why did you decide to run for Apple Blossom?
More competition, I guess.
That's true.
I didn't have my sports, and I've always wanted to do Apple Blossom, and I never thought I could. And having this pandemic, although it was not the most fun, it gave me this opportunity, so I took it.
It says you're involved in Link. What is Link?
Link Leaders?
Yeah.
Link Leaders is a program that my high school has, and it's every school year, upperclassmen help the sophomores coming into the high school, show them around the high school, make sure they know where all their classes are, and so that they have a friend coming into the.
You had a lot of things or people that you could have said inspired you, but you mentioned your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
She is just the most amazing person ever. She's an elementary school teacher, and she works with special needs kids, and she's just so amazing. She has MS, which a lot of people don't know, and she does not let that define her. She just lives every day, and she's just one of the happiest, most loving people you'll ever meet, definitely.
For you, we mentioned the sports part of it, but what for you has been the most challenging part of this pandemic?
I would say staying positive. It's hard. You hear school shutting down, you hear sports are stopping, you can't see your family, and it's hard because you're sitting at home and you want to go out and do stuff, and just staying positive, definitely.
What do you think that adults, what's the number one thing that adults need to understand about teenagers?
I feel like parents understanding that we are just like them. We are doing the same things that they did, and I just think just going out and having fun and knowing that we're not going to go and party and drink and everything, and just having that trust with us.
Trust.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. For someone who's not from here, what would you tell them is the best thing about the Wenatchee Valley?
All the natural beauty. It's the amazing hiking trails, biking trails, the river. There's almost every land mass. There's mountains, there's rivers, there's valleys, there's buttes, there's everything. So it's just so beautiful here.
So it's the night of pageant, and you're a queen.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you thank?
My parents, all these amazing girls that are also participate in top 10, the chaperones, Darcy, everyone. It's been so amazing.
What else should we know about Kaylin before we let you go?
I love animals. I have 2 dogs, and I just love them.
Now, what are your dogs?
They're Annie and Maisie, and one's a mini golden doodle, and then one's a full size.
A mini golden doodle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a golden retriever and poodle mix?
Yes.
Okay, so tall or short?
Pretty short.
Okay.
And then.
So more of the poodle look to it, or?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of
It's its own thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My big dog, my big golden doodle, has more of a poodle look, but you'll find out more about her on pageant night.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Little sneak preview there.
Yeah.
I imagine that having your dogs has probably helped in this pandemic. I imagine that just having those little cuddle buddies, sometimes it's probably the only thing that gets you through, isn't it?
Yeah, when school was all online, my parents were at work, and I would just be me and my dogs, and my dogs would be sleeping on my bed, snoring during class. And so in between classes, I'd be able to pet them.
Well, Kaylin, congratulations on being part of the top 10.
Thank
Best of
you.
luck in the pageant.
Thank you.
There you go. Kaylin Schmitten, she is one of our candidates that you'll see on Saturday the 27th. Our countdown to coronation starts at 6, and the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant starts at 7, right here on the NCW Life Channel.
There are so many possibilities for you to learn local right here at Wenatchee Valley College. Take classes towards a degree or certificate in more than 50 areas of study. Wenatchee Valley College now offers a large variety of virtual classes, including labs, sign language, music, and machining, and they have the resources to help you succeed in virtual classes. So when a college degree is your goal, learn local at Wenatchee Valley College.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Collins Fashions is looking forward to spring, but we know we still have many cool days ahead. So come help us transition from winter to spring and enjoy great savings on quality jeans, tees, sweaters, jackets, vests, coats, etc., etc. Jackets and coats are now 50% off, and boots, and take an extra 20% off on red tag clothing. Spring fashions are arriving daily, so pop in and see colors and fashions that will freshen your wardrobe. Brighton's spring collection, handbags, and jewelry will definitely delight you. Collins Fashions, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Just about 4 minutes before the end of the show here on a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'll be back again on Monday and Tuesday filling in for Dan, and then I'll gladly turn the reins of the show over back to him. It's been a long week. I get up early anyway because I put the sports together for the Wake Up Wenatchee Valley program for the morning. Each morning I get up about 4 o'clock on a usual basis. Now this week I've been getting up at 3:30. Now as you know, if you are a married couple, if you have a schedule change in your household, it affects the spouse no matter what. And my wife has just put up with me all week long getting up at 3:30. She even has stumbled out of bed and threw together some cereal at least for me and put my lunch together so I'd have a lunch for the day. And I just love my wife, and she's just been so supportive of this. I did come out though the other morning. She had this nice little bowl of cornflakes ready to go and a banana and some orange juice and things. And I reached in to pour the milk, and I reached in to pull the piece of silverware out of the bowl, and it was a fork. Well, it's 3:30 in the morning. Well, of course you're not going to think straight. All right, the forecast here for the Wenatchee Valley is looking okay today, but then great for the weekend. We have that wind advisory still in effect till about 4 o'clock this afternoon. They're saying gusts to 32 miles an hour possible today. We'll see about that. We've got a nice start to the morning. The sun trying to break through the clouds, and currently it's, 34 degrees here in the 35, just went up another one. Weekend forecast looks pretty good. Sunny skies, 45 on Saturday, 49 on Sunday. We'll have a few clouds move in Saturday night, so maybe a chance of a raindrop or two on Saturday night into Sunday morning. As we head into next week, we'll have clouds in the morning, maybe some shower activity, and then sunny skies in the afternoon. Warming up, 46 Monday, 47 Tuesday, 49 on Wednesday, and 50 expected possibly on Thursday of next week. Mountain passes are a mess this morning, folks. If you need to travel to the higher elevations, be very careful. If you can wait, maybe wait till later on. Snowing hard with poor visibility on Snoqualmie Pass. Change required on all vehicles on Snoqualmie. With snow and ice on the roadway. Change required also at Stevens Pass. It is an absolute mess with heavy snow, poor visibility, and snow and ice on the roadway. Blewett Pass is even kind of degrading as the morning continues with a traction requirement. Snowing there and snow and ice on the roadway. Anytime there's a traction requirement, that means chains are required for the big rigs. Hey, don't forget Grant Olson with the news tonight at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. I'll be back to do sports then, and I'll be back this weekend for our coverage of the big festival event that kind of kicks off Apple Blossom with the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant. We'll start our coverage with Julie Agins-Kuntz and myself tomorrow at 6 o'clock with a countdown to coronation, and then the pageant itself will start at 7 o'clock. Be sure and join us for that. We went through a rehearsal last night. These 10 ladies have just done a fantastic job. And also kudos to the Wenatchee Central Lions Club. They put this all together. And Darcy and Aaron and everybody at Apple Blossom, fantastic work once again. So join us. Watch it. It's going to be a great show. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday.